Hi everybody, it's Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In today's MTPredictor video, I'd like to look at one of the new trade setups we have in our NinjaTrader 8 add-ons, and this is what we call a Holy Grail trade setup. These come in with our TS1s, TS3s and TS4 setups, but they are a specific kind of setup, and I want to just go through that and show you what they're all about. So what is a Holy Grail? Well, a Holy Grail trade setup is where we have an important low. The initial move off the low is a wave 1. The initial correction down here is a wave 2. So if I right mouse click and I do Elliott wave major, you can see there's our major connected swings in black. We come into our wave 2 or BWPT. In other words, this is a wave 2. If the wave 2 then subdivides into a minor ABC, like it does here with our TS1 setup, then we are anticipating that, I'll just clear this off, that after a wave 2 we're anticipating a wave 3 swing. Also, we like to see that this is coming off major support. So if I zoom out, you can see that here's our major connected swings, our ones in black. And you can see if I go out here, there's a major swing low there. So if I right mouse click on that low pivot, do decision point, this puts the major support on. You can see there it is, it says support and major. Now if I scroll back to where we were yesterday, which was last Friday, can you see how this low here is coming off our major support? You can see there's our major support and it's coming off our major support. So that's how we do our isolation view of Elliott waves, my unique view on the isolation approach to Elliott wave analysis, in that most Elliott wave people struggle with trying to connect all the Elliott wave swings together, but I realized that you don't have to do that. We know that markets go in cycles, so half the time the pattern's clear, half the time it's not. So in other words, half the time you can't put an Elliott wave count on the chart, or a reliable one. It just basically falls apart or goes into alternate counts and all that kind of stuff, which is why Elliott wave doesn't really work in practical applications. But what I've done is I've used it in isolation. So this is a great example, because I've said here's our major support, in other words a good place to start our sequence from. So we start here at major support. As I've already said, the initial move up will be wave 1, the initial correction down will be wave 2, that subdivides into a minor ABC. Because this is a wave 2, we're now anticipating a wave 3. If I place the analysis on, what that means is rather than having our targets at the first targets as we used to with our TS1 setup, if I scrunch the chart down a bit, you can see that now we are basically looking for a wave 3 swing, in other words a strong swing, and that means going to our typical wave 3 WPT. Why is this so good? Well, a wave 3 is the strongest and longest in a completed 5-wave sequence. So in other words, this means that you have the potential for the biggest move with the smallest initial risk. And as you can see here, if the market had have reached this target on Friday, the profit would have been a massive 9 times greater than the initial risk. Remember, we use our correct position sizing to keep our initial risk small under control, in this case less than 2% on a sample $20,000 account. Now the market didn't get up all the way up here on Friday, it basically came into the close. So if I grab and drag this down to the close, even here the profit would have been 5 times greater than initial risk, so a very, very big trade. And in fact, looking at this would have actually been the low of the day. Here's our TS1 Holy Grail buy setup reversing off the low of the day, and you'd have held one trade long all day and coming out on close for a profit of 5 times greater than initial risk. So this is the kind of trade setups we're looking for in MTPredictor. We don't necessarily want to have a high percentage of winners. That's very difficult to do over time, and most professionals, what they tend to do is look for profits that are much larger than the initial risk. In other words, over time they have large profits and small losses. Remember, losses can and will and do happen. That's just a fact of trading life. But with our position sizing, when we have a loss, it's kept small. And the beauty of this Holy Grail trade setup is when the profits are large, or when the profits come through, they're large, in fact very large in relation to the small initial risk. So this is one of the new trade setups we have in our NinjaTrader 8 add-ons, is our Holy Grail trade setup. This is also backed up by our MTP trend indicator that we had that I introduced you to in our one of my early videos last week, where basically we are looking at a trend direction based on our higher time frame or major DP support zones. You can see here, as we came into the support zone, the market started to rally off that. The trend indicator went blue, giving you permission to go long. In other words, the blue trend was indicating a larger degree uptrend. So can you see how this TS1 Holy Grail buy setup was on our blue MTP trend indicator, giving you extra confidence that the market is in an uptrend and therefore looking to go long. So I just wanted to share this with you in this video today and show you this great example, because quite frankly, on the YM on Friday, this was probably the best trade you could have done. And as I say, these are available in our new NinjaTrader 8 add-ons or our new MTP RT add-ons for NinjaTrader 8. As you can see, a very nice Holy Grail trade setup.